Hi everyone, Mrs. Shaheen here. Today we're going to do another walk through our container garden and we need a little attention, so we're going to take care of that. First, I want to give a little shout out to my little cousin Nyla. Hey Nyla, miss you boo. All right guys, so while I was walking through the garden this morning, actually yesterday morning, I noticed that some of our plants are getting a little yellow. You can see our squash, our corn, and our pumpkin. Look at a little yellow. Cucumbers, they're getting a little not too great looking at either. So one thing that we don't have is some nutrients that they definitely need, because if they did, they would not be turning yellow. So what I did is I talked to my dad about it because I didn't know a whole lot about fertilizing. So he told me my plants need some fertilizer. He and I went to our local nursery and we got this bag of fertilizer. It's 13, 13, 13. This costs like $5 for this big old bag. And he said I need to put about a teaspoon, about an inch away from each of those plants that need it. So I'm going to do that. I would normally use a plastic spoon, but I did not have any available. So I'm using a regular spoon, but I'm going to keep this spoon in the bag because I don't want to use that to eat anymore with, because it could be dangerous. So we are going to fertilize. So what he said, and he made a hole for me. You can see on the corn, we're going to make little holes. And this one, I'll put it right in the middle of these two. We're going to make little holes just a little bit away from each of the plants. And we're going to put the fertilizer in there. He said we only need about a teaspoon. So we're going to do that. We need to be a little careful because it is a container garden and there's not a lot of space. So I am just going to get, as you can see, about a teaspoon, and I'm going to drop it in there. I'm going to cover it back up, but I'm going to leave them open until I'm done with all of them to make sure I don't forget to put some somewhere or put somewhere twice. And that's what I'm going to do. Once I'm done, I'm going to water them because it's time. The plant, you can tell that I put leaves. Oh, one other thing, guys, I want to point to you. I'm sure you can see I put a leaf layer over the plants that were sprouting. You can see the leaf layer here as well. This leaf layer does a couple of things. First thing is it helps to trap in the moisture so the plants don't get dried out as quick. It holds the water. It helps prevent it from evaporating so quickly. But we had some surprisingly cool weather here the last couple of days. It was in the upper 40s to today is in the mid to high 60s. So it's really nice today. But yesterday and the day before was really, really cool. And we don't want those plants that are not very tolerant of the cool to die. So all of my my viney plants, which were my pumpkins, my watermelons, and my cantaloupe, as well as my gourds and my squash, we put that layer all the way around the base. You can see we put it all the way up to the viney parts of the plants and just left the leaves out so that they can, of course, continue to grow. Did the same thing on the watermelons, but they're very tiny. My cantaloupe are just coming up, so I did not need to add a layer just yet, and I didn't want to add a layer and smother them. So they're just coming up nicely. But I will add that layer of leaves today, again, to help hold in the moisture. So that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to add that fertilizer to all of our viney plants, the squash, the pumpkin, the cantaloupe, the gourds, and the watermelon, to make sure they get a little kickback. Our tomatoes are still looking pretty good, but my dad said I should probably go ahead and put some fertilizer with them, so we're going to do those as well. Now the beans, he said, probably don't really need them right now. They're doing fantastic. Look how beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful beans. And our peas, looking fabulous also. We have another thing of beans, green beans, growing nicely. Our broccoli looks a little sickly too, so we're going to add some fertilizers to them. Now with this broccoli, I know that I'm going to be needing to thin it out a little bit soon, because you can see I've cried a cluster right here, okay? We're gonna let it grow a little bit longer, a little bit more, and see if we're gonna need to thin it out, but we may, so we're watching that closely. The new bed we planted the other day has not come up yet, and you can see our goats had a little field day tromping through it. I will be watering that today, and our little cinder box did not come up yet with our bell peppers. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I will post again soon and let you know how the fertilizer worked out. Thanks.